Howdy, can you all hear me? Where is you guys get so antsy? Hello everybody. You guys get really impatient if I'm not here like right off the bat. Sorry, I'm like trying to orient myself. So hey everybody, how is everybody doing? It's been a little bit. So I wanted to get out. I've got a video that I meant to get out today that just didn't happen like I needed it to, and so that's going to come out tomorrow. I wanted to make sure that I got in front of you all today. It's been a while, and I miss you all. So hope you all are doing well, and hope all we have had a bunch of little bits of Wheel of Time news that have come out here over the past like 3 weeks that I'm kind of excited about. Sorry, this thing is like really tough. So any case, guys, I'm super excited to kind of talk about a lot of that stuff. The video tomorrow is kind of going a little deeper into some of the topics. Let's hit some of your questions. I really wanted to throw this out there, and we can talk anything about the Wheel of Time, theories that you might have. I know there's a very special theory that Daniel Lobo has that we'll address here. But before we do that, hey, everybody, if you're on the stream, make sure to hit the like button. It really helps YouTube promote this stuff. So just smash the like button here real quick. I would appreciate it so much if you're on and you can just do that. That would be wonderful. Also, we'll talk about this later, but if you do want to get, if you have not already, if you're one of like the 3 people that has not gotten a free audiobook from Audible, you should do that. It's really easy to do it. I'm going to write it in the description. You can go get a free audiobook, and it helps me out. So com/Nae'Blis. Okay, so I put that link in the description, but I appreciate all of you. So anyways, Daniel Lobo will start off with this because you were begging in the Discord server for me to talk about this. What are my thoughts on the fact that they are merging Tam and Tom in the show? Nobody should listen to that garbage. Daniel Lobo is trying to be a troll, and he's doing a very good job of it. That is not true. They are not merging Tam and Tom. So we do not need to worry about it. Everybody settle down. Yeah, no, in all seriousness, though, on that topic, though, I think a lot of the speculation there, aside from being trolling, comes from the fact that we don't have a Tom yet. What does everybody read into that? Like, are you concerned that they haven't released Tom? Or is it something you're not worried about it? You know, where does that sit for all of you? Just kind of curious how you guys all think about that. Think it's going to be a surprise? So a lot of you are saying that you're not all that worried. It's going to be a surprise. He's not been cut. And again, I know that he's not been cut, so I know that they're not merging them. Tom should be played by Sam Elliott. Man, Nathan. So here's my thoughts on Sam Elliott playing Tom. I think Sam Elliott looks the part because he has the mustaches. Aside from that, I think Sam Elliott would be pretty awful as Tom. He's got the nice deep voice. I mean, that's good, but he's not a song and dance guy. He's not real mobile. In fact, he's pretty old now. And Tom really needs to be kind of agile. Tom also needs to be a little bit more sly. So I'm kind of not, if they announced Sam Elliott as Tom, I would probably not be all that thrilled about it, to be honest. I know that that's not going to happen. Rafe shot it down. But any case, so let me hit on some of your comments, guys. Again, I'm notoriously awful at reading comments, so I will do my darndest. Tim Munson was perfect, but unfortunate health issue. I agree, Ryan Patrick. I would have loved him as Tom. I did a video on casting Tom, which they did not listen to. But nevertheless, I didn't really expect them to. But you can check that out if you wanted to see my thoughts on who they should cast as Tom and why they should do it. So, in any case, I'm going to hit on this in the video tomorrow, so I don't want to take too much of my own thunder. But have all of you guys seen some of the recent pictures that have come out about on the show about the places that they've been filming? I'm interested to see what your thoughts on some of those locations are, whether or not that makes you more excited or less excited. Hearing that there is likely going to be a second season. They haven't straight up come out and confirmed it, but they're doing a writing session for it. Like, they wouldn't be putting together a writing team and doing a writer's room for season 2 if it hadn't already been picked up for season 2. So I'm very curious what you guys think about some of this recent news that's come out. Who was the white-haired man at the table read? We don't know yet. Don't know yet. I don't think it was Tom, honestly. So, well, again, Ross, Sarah confirmed that they're doing a writer's room. That does not mean, I want to separate the two, that does not mean that the show has been picked up for a second season. The reason that we can kind of assume that it probably has been is because the Lord of the Rings series was just announced to be picked up for a second season. Kind of corresponds with the same time. So I think that's, first of all, here's a couple things that you can read into that. Again, I'm going to talk about this more in my video tomorrow, so I won't steal a lot of my own thunder. But one of the things that I'm pretty darn excited about is that means that what they have shot and what they have written have been quality enough that people feel like they need to pick up a second season and start writing it. That's saying a lot, guys. I'm excited about it. I really am. I know people get on me for saying that I'm just a wheel time hack and no matter what they do, I'm going to be positive about it. That's not necessarily true. But so far, I'm not seeing a whole lot that I'm bummed about. Like, there's not a whole lot that I've seen that said that I hate it. So, any case, again, to be very clear, they have not announced that it's picked up. It has not been confirmed that it has. They are writing the scripts, but I also don't think that that's too far of a stretch to say that they may not be picking it up. So, any case, no one accuses me of being too positive for some reason. I find you positive just about certain things and not about others. I mean, I know Matt is your favorite character by far, right? So, any case, thank you, Aaron Murray. I love your videos, Nae'Blis. I appreciate it, man. I do. And it's been bummed because I've got literally, guys, a list of like 30 videos that I need to make right now. It's legit that long. So I apologize for not getting them out. I have had a very busy stretch of time here where I just haven't been able to get them out like I need to. I've got a couple I think that I'll get out here in the next couple days. One of the other things I have been working on, I've been trying to get, we are really trying to put together this background, this Wheel of Time community site. It's very hard to picture for those of you who just hear me talking about it, but I'm very excited about it. We're going to put together a place where we can put kind of all the Wheel of Time news. But in addition, we're remaking a lot of the wiki and attaching video content to each of the different articles. So for instance, we've got a Moraine article ready. So when you click on the Moraine in the wiki, if you want to read about her, you can do that, but it has links to videos about her. It has links to other characters. We're basically remaking that for the whole Wheel of Time series. We want to make kind of like the one-stop shop for Wheel of Time content, where you can kind of show up, see other content creators. One of the things that has me super excited is there's a lot of new Wheel of Time content creators out there. So it's kind of exciting to see that kind of popping up because that just means the interest is coming. I am all for it. I think WoT Up, the Dusty Wheel. Speaking of Dusty Wheel, Daniel Green will be on there tomorrow. So definitely check their channel out if you want to see Daniel talking. So guys, I'm just excited for a lot of it. So any case, I'm going to need to hit on some comments here because I'm really bad at that. So what about Narg's post about filming Shinar and looking for bald Asians? So I saw that today. I don't know. Again, we're assuming that they're talking about Shinarans, but they are looking for bald Asians, which again, here's what that tells me. I mean, I'll talk about this in the video tomorrow, but we are going to see elements of book 2 in season 1. I think we're pretty much solid on that. I know nothing has been announced, but I think it's fairly clear that we are. They are going to be kind of condensing a lot of book 1 and 2 into the first season. Now, to how much of that, I don't know. It could just be the Shi'Narans that we see at the end of book 1. So it may not go into book 2, but I'm reading in the tea leaves to say this. I think we're going to see a little bit more. So I think if they're going to cast them, here's why I say that. So think about this. When you're casting a series and you're going to bring in actors or actresses that are going to play multiple seasons, right? You typically don't want to introduce characters that are not going to be at least somewhat fleshed out. Like, I don't want to introduce a cameo character. For instance, let's use Ingtar as an example. If we use Ingtar as an example, sorry. Ingtar is barely in. He's in book 1. Like, he's there. His character is fleshed out mostly in book 2. You would try to almost avoid introducing Ingtar as a character if you weren't going to spend time fleshing him out. So I don't want him to be in one episode of season 1 to be in every episode of season 2. Like, that doesn't make a ton of sense, and that typically does not happen in productions. If you think about it, they'll introduce a new character. For instance, let's use Game of Thrones. They introduced the character of Oberyn Martell, and he was there for that whole season until he had a bad ending. But you know, his character didn't show up until then. They didn't introduce him before, and then that's what makes me think that we're going to see a little bit more. Now, I could be wrong. It could just be the end of book 1 that we're talking about. I have a feeling that we're going to see a little bit more, though. So, yeah, I'm curious what your all's thoughts on that. Are we only going to see season 1, like book 1 in season 1, or are we going to see more of it? I mean, are we going to see more of the Shi'Narans? Are we going to see more of Shi'Nar? Are we going to see part of the Great Hunt in season 1? I'm curious what you all think. So on the 24th, yes, I'm dumb. I was looking and assuming it was tomorrow. It's the 24th, and I want to say it's at like 4 o'clock for those of you that want to see Daniel on the Dusty Wheel. But you should definitely follow the Dusty Wheel anyway. Those guys are great guys. Matt Hatch is awesome. I've been on there when I can be. I love to hop on. So they're great. Okay, I see a lot of you RIPing Oberyn Martell. Yeah, that was... Now, I'll say one thing about that. I hope that we get that kind of graphic violence in the wheel time. That's just me. But, okay. Trying to time a question when Nae'Blis looks down at the feed is driving me nuts. I'm sorry, Shane. I'm really awful at it. There's ways to get it to stand out. I won't plug them, but yeah, if you've got comments, just keep posting them, I suppose. So, okay. Season 1 is where, season 1 ends when Swan tells Rand that he's the dragon. See, I could see that. The problem with that, though, C, I'm hoping that's what you mean by that, C. The problem with that is it introduces the same problem that I just talked about. You introducing characters at the end of a season that are going to be regulars from then on. So, like, if they're going to introduce Swan Sanche, for instance, you're not going to bring Swan Sanche and Leandrin and 12 other Aes Sedai in just to be in episode 12 or episode 10 of season 1. Like, those are going to be major characters, and so they're not going to be introduced, in my opinion. They're not going to be introduced like that with one side. That's what makes it's hard because I don't know what they'll do, but it's very rare that you introduce a major character for one episode. You typically bring them in for multiple. What if they film the seasons back to back? And see, they could be doing that. That could be another thing. If the only reason I don't think they're filming the seasons back to back, Ross, is they're already filming and they don't have season 2 written. So probably not happening. Glenn, Nae'Blis, are you on Dragonmount? No, I am not. I am not on Dragonmount. But we will be creating, I don't want to say our own version of Dragonmount, but we're creating our own website. So it'll be a lot of fun. Speaking of which, if you want to grab some Nae'Blis merch and get your own chosen mug, check out the merch below. Shameless plug. Okay. What else are you guys like? What's the stuff right now that you guys are excited about? What are you not excited about with the series? I want season 1 to introduce Leia and Fear as a big ending. Again, brings up the same problem I have. I think that's a problem that they have. Is I'm going to keep harping on this because a lot of your comments are talking about it, but it's an issue when they bring in characters. That's all. And so I think that's something they've got to juggle, because you don't pay a bigger name to come in and play a role for one episode. You just don't do that. So they typically will not introduce somebody in a story arc, because each television season, if you ever watch a television show, even in these bigger series like Game of Thrones, the season is an arc. Like, there are stories that are started in episodes 1 and 2 that are typically wrapped up at the end of that season. You don't typically leave open-ended stories from season to season. And so because of that, you typically don't also want to introduce characters that are not going to have at least some type of an arc in that season, or not a significant part of it. So now there's obviously exceptions to that rule, but by and large, that's typically not how that's done. So, hey guys, if you're new popping on here, if you don't mind hitting the like button, it really helps YouTube promote this so more people will see it on these live streams. So if you don't mind hitting that like button while you're here, I would very, very much appreciate it. You guys are great. Okay. I'm going to try to read some of your comments or questions. Do you think season 1 could end with Falma? Trevor. I think it's possible that it could. I think that would be a major stretch in time. I'd be concerned, honestly, if we found out that it was going to end with Falma. And the reason I say that is that would be a whole lot of happenings condensed into one season. You'd basically be doing the Eye of the World in 5 episodes, which to me feels very rushed considering the world building that needs to happen. But then, even more difficult to do, in my opinion, would be condensing the Great Hunt into 5 episodes. I just feel like that would be, I think that'd be so difficult. So I unless we're getting 12 to 15 episodes, which I'm pretty sure we're not, I really don't want them to try to get both books into season 1. I really hope they're not doing that. So, okay. Great Hunt changes the beginning by merging it with the beginning of Fires of Heaven and introducing the Forsaken. Interesting. Interesting thought. I need to give that more thought, John. That's a good comment. I'm not sure. Okay, so it's quite expensive to put an actor on cast hold, FYI. Yeah, I agree. That's part of what I'm saying, Ryan, is Ryan Bryan. They're not going to, because if you hire them, you really want that to be the same the next season. But, for you to be able to say, hey, we need to lock out your schedule for X amount of years, they're not going to put you in one episode. So that is something that people have to consider. Kirk Douglas as Agenor. Oh, man, you guys that's rough. Although that would be funny. How would you all feel if they took the basis of the story but changed it significantly? MK, what do you mean by that? Like, how much do you, when you say change it significantly, like, what is the basis of the story change significantly to you? I'm curious what you think about that. Part of me thinks they're just going to write a different ending to book 1, Sarah. I agree with you. I think they are going to write a different ending to book 1. I think part of it is because I think the Eye of the World is kind of confusing. I think the end of it. I think the Eye of the World is also confusing about what it's made for. And so I think instead of fleshing that out more, I feel like they're probably going to change that around a little bit. I think the Horn of Valyr will probably still be there. There'll be some type of battle. But in regards to like having it happen the exact same way, I actually think it would make sense to not have a Shamael be there, possibly. Mainly because I don't want to see a Shamael 3 times as the bad guy. I always thought that was kind of weird. that he was the bad guy 3 times in a row, and then he finally died. So MK, I asked you a question about what would make it different. You said, like, they live in Randland, Rand is the Dragon Reborn, but everything else changes. I do not think they're doing that, because too much is already the same that we know of. Yeah, I don't think they're going to do that. Hey, I hear that you think Loyal is going to get cut. What about the implication of Gardeners and the Death Watch Guard? So Mike Piccioli, I do not think Loyal is getting cut. In fact, I think Loyal is not getting cut. Rafe sent out a tweet way back, I want to say it was in like March, where he said glory to the builders and was while he was writing scripts. That would have been a comment indicating the Ogier there. Where you're getting the fact that I think Loyal will get cut is not that I think he will be, but if I were writing the show and I were trying to look for things I had to cut, to me, the Ogier are easy to cut because they don't really have that much significance in the story. Not that I don't like Loyal. I love Loyal. I love the Ogier. I think it's great. It makes the world distinctive and different. But are they necessary? No. You could remove them and there wouldn't be a ton of major changes needed. So just my thoughts on that. Will there be a Green Man? See, again, Aaron, that's what I don't know. It would be cool for the Green Man to exist for one reason. I thought the Green Man is a throwback to, like, originally he was kind of written like this magical creature. So, and he sort of is, but he's really a leftover construct from the Age of Legends. And I love in The Shadow Rising where we actually see the Green Man getting his charge to guard those objects. I think that part's so cool because you're seeing, like, that was not his purpose. His purpose is to grow food and grow things, and he was put in charge of guarding the Horn of Valir and the flag and all that. So, Miss Sarah James, Nae'Blis, how much, if any, of the first age do you think we will see, either directly in the form of introduction or indirectly in the form of futuristic ruins in the current timeline? So here's where they have a chance. Like, again, these shows love product placement. And so we already know the Mercedes logo shows up. And guys, if you don't know, the first age is typically considered in the Wheel of Time to be our time, basically. So when she's asking how much of the first age do you think we'll see, I don't think we're going to see flashbacks. I don't. It's possible that we will, but I doubt it. But I think it's cool for product placement if they see the Mercedes logo. Like, that's something Mercedes might pay money for. Or plastic, whatever. I mean, I think it's possible for them to make some money on the side and kind of tie it into the story, which is kind of cool. I don't know if most people will know that that's in the books, but it is there. The Jolly Green Giant is the Green Man. Heck yeah. Okay. So I think the Eye itself might be cut, since the first season is a mix of Eye in the World and the Great Hunt. The bigger climax is the Great Hunt. The Eye climax is odd, honestly. I agree with you, child. It is a bit odd. It's not so much odd if you look at it in hindsight. Like, you can look back at it and it makes some sense. Like, Rand was being pulled into a dream shard. He skimmed to the world of dreams. Like, he didn't know what he was doing, but he did it. You know that in looking back in hindsight, but at the time you're reading it, you're like, what the heck is going on? What are these stairs? Which, by the way, that was when Rand skimmed. I don't know if you guys knew that. That's why he makes a later reference to the fact that he built stairs and he had done that one more time as his kind of like vehicle. John Turner. Oh, thank you for the donation, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. Should they start with the prologue? So this is a big, big question. And I think it can be done either way. I think the two ways, here's my off-the-cuff thoughts on this. So there's the benefit to starting with the prologue, in my opinion. Think about, the show is called Wheel of Time. So you can either do a screen, like a, what do you call it? Like a scrolling text and kind of exposit your backstory that way, just to find Rand and Tam on the road. But that's not going to explain what the heck Wheel of Time means to people that have never seen the series. So you can also, though, my big thing with all of this is show, don't tell. showing the prologue sets the tone for what is going on in the future, if you will. Like, yes, it's confusing, but that's totally okay that it's confusing. Look at Westworld, for instance, or even if some of you guys have been watching The Watchmen on HBO. Most of the stuff happening doesn't make any freaking sense until it does. Okay? And that's okay in storytelling. I'm okay with that. So I would be totally okay with starting with the prologue. In fact, I think there's a benefit to it. If they don't start with the prologue, they need to show the prologue in a flashback. Okay, so that's my 2 cents on it. Now, we don't want to see the Winter Dragon prologue. That was garbage. But if they do it correctly and they do it right, it's possible that that can be done well. So that's a great question. I appreciate that. My final answer on it is I would like to see them start with the prologue, and I would like to see it be like a cold open. And then when you see kind of but you see Luce Theron kill himself, and you see Shamel standing there, and you see Tarval in island form, I want to see almost like a time lapse into the. It depends on how they make the opening sequence for the show, but I think it would be very cool to show time in this kind of circular manner passing. Like, I think that gives the themes of the show, right? So, Brick Ninja, I'd be very curious. You said, I'm pretty certain Rafe has said they would not be starting with the prologue. I do not think he has said that anywhere. If he has said that, please let me know where. I'd love to see that. I have not seen that at all. I'd keep the prologue first. The audience will catch up. I'm sure you don't assume a non-reader audience. They won't understand eventually. Again, yeah, people don't have to understand it right away. In fact, so guys, there's a principle in sales, in marketing, and frankly, even in hiring. So I do a lot of hiring in my business. There's a principle of not satiating interest, right? So what gets you to be more interested in something is not having your questions answered, believe it or not. When you have all of your questions answered about something, you actually become less interested. Okay, it's the way your brain works. And so a series can be enticing if it seems compelling, but you don't know what's going on yet. There's a mystery. And so you're drawn into wanting to learn more. Okay, that works in marketing all the time. You'll see people, there'll be movie trailers that don't really, some of the better movie trailers leave you not sure what's going on. Like, I'll give you a really good example for it. The most profitable superhero movie of all time. Anybody know what it is? It just came out not long ago. Most profitable. And it was the Joker, the new Joker movie. Okay? The Joker movie, the marketing for that did not really tell you what it was about. Okay? It just had you like, wait, this seems really dark. That's the Joker. That looks like a good performance. Well, that got me. I went to go see it because I had no idea. Yeah, it's called the Hidden Curtain Theory. Yeah. And there's a truth to that. So when you look at shows like, again, I'll go back to a really successful show that does a good job of this, and that's Westworld on HBO. You don't know what the heck is happening. They almost overuse that, but that's a side discussion. But you don't know what's going on. So yeah, it leads into that quite a bit. So I think that putting with prologue set that up really well. Okay. So in any case, getting into when will we have a trailer for the Wheel of Time? Well, they're not done filming. They don't have to be done filming to start making like teasers. I think we will start to get some of that stuff in probably 3 or 4 months, would be my guess. There'll be teasers. And then as we move towards the middle of next year, I think you're going to start seeing quite a bit of advertising in movie theaters, on television. One of the things that Amazon does really, really well with its shows is they plug the crap out of them everywhere. You can't go to a movie theater right now and not see plugs for the new Jack Ryan show, for Carnival Row. They're plugging their shows a lot now. Man in the Iron Castle. They do that really well. They'll show behind the scenes stuff. So you're going to start seeing that coming up here real soon, guys. I mean, I'm well, real soon in regards maybe 3 or 4 or 5 months from now. But it will be kind of exciting. I mean, how excited are you going to be when they drop that first trailer on Wheel of Wednesday? Tell me you're not out like I will. So, yeah, Voodoo Child said it right. Amazon is so the right home for this, and I cannot stress this enough. There is not another network that I would want this to be on right now. HBO would be my distant second. And the reason I say that, Amazon will spend money. And they're not so worried about initial success, okay? So they're really trying to build a space for themselves. And so the way they monetize their content, I did a video on this way back, one of the first videos I made talking about how Amazon make money on this, and they don't make their money on viewership. It's not what they make it on like HBO might, okay? So I'm really excited for it. This is the best network for it. They will advertise. They will throw money at it. So it's really, I know this is going to come back to, guys, am I still there? It's saying my connection is unstable and you all can't see me. Am I still there? Hopefully you all can still hear me. I'm still here. But in any case, so let me hit on some of your comments. Hopefully you guys are still hearing me. Would I accept a cameo if they offered it? I'm not sure that I would, Mike. I would accept a cameo if it wasn't a facial cameo. I don't want to be seen in it. But if I'm like a Trolloc, I think that would be really cool. That's probably not going to happen. Or hopefully it's getting better. Audio's, I don't know why it's being slow. I can't speak to that. But hopefully you guys can still hear me okay. And if it looks really, really bad, then so be it. I'm sorry. Jennifer Wood. Wow. You are freaking awesome. Guys, Jennifer has been one of the best supporters. I appreciate you so much, Jennifer. Thank you so much for that. Loyal should be kept. The prologue should be kept. Both of them have advantages to introduce a lot to the background. By the way, a proud and happy owner of a Mercedes. Very nice. Congratulations. I also drive a Mercedes, Jennifer. We are in the same club. I will probably be turning mine in though here in the near future. I'm going to change out cars, but they're beautiful and they drive great. I hope you enjoy that Mercedes 400e. You rock. Thank you so much. You really are awesome. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. So a lot of you are saying the audio is fine now, so hopefully it is better now. My bet's on who Daryl McCormick is. John, I'm going to postpone that one. My video tomorrow is going to be addressing the Daryl McCormick and all of the different possibilities. So I will defer to that because I've done a lot of work on it and I don't want to just spit it out now. I do have a pretty good idea of who I think it will be. Yeah. So how many seasons do you think they'll condense it into? I would like to see no fewer than 8. That's what I'd like to see, John. A lot of it is going to depend on how well this does. Honestly, the season that's going to be telling will be season 2, in my opinion. Season 1 will have lower ratings than the other ones, just like Game of Thrones did. But as it generates buzz and excitement, season 2, if that becomes kind of a viral sensation, then we're going to get it finished. So I would like to see 8 seasons. I think it can be done actually in 8 seasons. I really do. There's a couple of books that are all happening simultaneously. So I will see. We'll see. Nae'Blis, have you heard any word on a conlang? I'm not sure what that means. A conlang creator being hired. I don't know what that means. Maybe I'm stupid and should know what that means, but I don't. Sorry, Glenn. Maybe you could explain a little bit more. It didn't finish that thought until hitting enter. I would love to be famous Trollocs like they did. Okay, so I would love to be a famous Trolloc. Yeah, I would totally be in for being a Trolloc. I think that would be fun. I am super tall. I'm about 6'6" when I stand up straight. and I'm a big guy. So, by the way, totally on a side note, how many of you type like a 1 in the chat if you're planning on being at JordanCon? I want to do a very informal poll here. How many of you are planning on coming to JordanCon in April of next year? Anybody? I think there's a delay from when I say things to when I see your chat, but if you are, throw a 1 in there. I just want to see how many of you are planning on doing that, because I would totally, we're going to have a get-together. Awesome. Where will it take place? It's in Atlanta, Georgia. It's in Atlanta, Georgia. So, guys, just so you know, JordanCon, if you're not familiar with it, is a convention that's put together by, I think Dragon Mount helps with it. There's a bunch of other people that are involved with that. Harriet is involved in it. I am pumped seeing all these ones, everybody. This is going to be fun. For the folks on my Patreon, if you are at the Trolloc level on my Patreon and higher, we're going to have a reception for us. I'm going to provide food, and we'll get to hang out and spend some time together at JordanCon. So that'll be fun for those of you that are planning on being there. I'm really looking forward to meeting a lot of you. Biggest part of this to me was the community from the get-go, and so I'm excited for all of you and what you're doing and how you're being a part of it and all of that. If you are not in my Discord server yet, click the link below the video and join it. Guys, we get to chat and talk all the time. I would love to have you all be a part of that. So I may try to do a live stream from JordanCon. I'll definitely be making some videos there as much as I can, if they approve my press pass. So in any case. So, all right. Joining late, about Ingtar and cameo characters. Love the foreshadowing. The most satisfying aspect of a series is foreshadowing. I say bring as many characters as relevant into the first season. So, Chris, I agree with you that foreshadowing is fun. I don't think it's feasible for them to do that with characters. I think it's very feasible for them to do that with little hints and Easter eggs. And I think that can be the fun part, is to go back and watch and pick stuff apart. I will definitely, if they're doing this and a good job of it, I will definitely be doing videos where I break down the episodes, not just for what's in them, but like the little Easter eggs that they're putting in the videos. That part I'm really excited to make. Those are going to be my favorite videos. The other thing I've been doing, and I'll tell you guys this, in fact, it's up on my other monitor here. A lot of you know I've been putting together maps for a while. I'm finishing up Shadar Logoth as a map. I'm going to try to make some scale like maps of some of the cities like Camelin and Tar Valon, which, by the way, are massive. I just found out. So like Camelin has close to 24 miles of walls, which is large. And so in putting perspective into that, I want to be able to show how big houses and streets and all of that really are. So I'm putting together those maps, because then what I'm going to be doing, and this will be a part of the website that we're creating, we're then going to have walkthroughs, chapter by chapter, reread walkthroughs for the books, so that you can kind of go back, reread, pick it apart, see visual representations and maps of where they are, including the battles. Like, that's all part of the website that we're doing. And so I'm super excited to keep working on that. That's partially why my videos have been a little slower, because I only have so much extra time. And I'm trying to put time into both of those things to kind of keep things going. But I want to make some real quality Wheel of Time content that we just haven't seen yet. So I'm going to keep doing that. And guys, just if you know, like, don't ever feel the need to do this. But I just want to give a heads up. I am the best way to support what we're doing here, because I'm trying to involve a lot of the folks in my Discord server. I've got an advisory board of people that are helping me put some of this stuff together, that are advising me on content, things like that. If you want to be a part of that community and you want to be able to support what we're trying to make, please consider checking out the Patreon. I'm not begging for it. You don't need to do it. My goal, frankly, is to be able to hire MK, who you've seen popping around I want to be able to hire her to help me continue to create this stuff and kind of speed that up. And those are the kind of things that we want to do with it. So if you want to be a part of that, please consider checking out the Patreon. I'd appreciate it. If not, all you got to do is watch. You guys are great. Shane Dunning, thank you again for the donation, man. Will they use subtitles when the old tongue is spoken? So this goes in. I'm going to answer this in 2 parts. That's a great question, by the way. Somebody put the con lag. I know what that means now. It's the, where did it go? Constructed language. And you're right. I'm sorry. I would have understood it. I'm stupid, Glenn. Sorry. But do I think they're going to bring in somebody to do to write languages? Yes, I think they're going to do that just like they did with Dothraki. If they're going to do this the right way, the old tongue will be a language and will be spoken. The good news is most of it's already actually translated and exists. The old tongue is fairly well constructed, and so they're just going to need to bring somebody in to talk about how to pronounce it, things like that. But I do think that there will be times where it's necessary to use it and use subtitles, and there will be times where it'll be good to hear it and not understand what they're saying. It comes back to that hidden curtain effect. But that's a great question. Will they use subtitles? I think that there will be times that we see them, and there will be times that we don't. Okay. So, all right, let me hit on some of yours. See, I love me a good map. You can actually see some of them in some of my other videos. And on my Patreon, I think I've got a couple of them posted. I fairly occasionally will post them in the Discord server as I'm working on them. So if you guys are members of the Discord, hop in and do that. Okay. I heard the production team loved how Doctor Strange portrayed magic, and I assume there will be some parallels. Yeah, Baker, one of the things that Rafe said in one of his Q&As was that he loved the way that was done, and they are going to use that as kind of an inspiration. And it doesn't mean it's going to look just like that, but I do think, we will see a little bit of Doctor Strange style magic use, things like that. I think it's pretty cool. I like the way that was done, at least, too. Should they move up Avienda's appearance? Excuse me, the hiccups. Should they move up Avienda's appearance by having her appear in the steading outside of the Barthen's palace where they're looking for another Wagi? No, I don't think, and again, John, here's why I don't think they're going to do that. The reason I don't think that they are going to up her, because they don't want to include her in the story because she's a major character until she's a major part of the story. Because they're not going to want to pay that person just to have a 1 or 2 episode cameo before becoming a series regular for the rest of the series. So I think when she's introduced, she'll be introduced. I don't think it'll be kind of a, oh, there she is, and then be done, Now, they would have to rewrite and include her earlier, and I think that's possible that they could do that. But yeah, Dark Friend meeting could be cut. Wasn't that important? I didn't think. Oh, I hope they don't cut the Dark Friend meeting. I love the Dark Friend meeting. I think it's really interesting. I want to see more. Here's what I loved. I loved in the Wheel of Time when I was reading it the first time through. I loved seeing the perspective of the of the shadow, like the workings of the shadow, like the meetings and the organizational structure. Like, I think that was just really fun. So I loved the Dark Friend meeting. I thought that was just, it gives you more real villains. And again, it has that, wait, who's the White Cloak? Who's the Aes Sedai? Like, who could it be? Like, those questions are the ones that I think are really cool. And so I think those are the little foreshadowing pieces I hope they don't cut. I'll tell you one thing that I am super excited for. It seems like a dumb thing, but I'm really pumped to find out when they announce who's going to score it. That will probably come closer to when production is finishing, but the score, in my opinion, really makes a show. Like, think Star Wars, but without the same music. It wouldn't be the same. That music makes Star Wars in a lot of senses, and so Wheel of Time is the same way. Like, you hear that Game of Thrones intro music, and you know what it is. The Reigns of Castamere, like some of the music from from Game of Thrones. I want them to use a similar level of quality with Wheel of Time. So, okay. Shifting perspective is always the brilliance of the series, in my opinion. I agree. I hope they do it a lot. William, headed back to work. Thank you, man. And William is one of my new advisory board members. He kind of hit that Supreme Council tier on the Patreon. And so really pumped for you to be able to support me that way. And I'm excited to work with you, man. Nae'Blis, do you think they will keep all the little things that make the cities different? Yes, I do. Guys, the parts that I'm the most excited for are those types of things. I want to see how they, like, what the cities look like and the architecture and if they're distinctly different and how big they are and, you know, just the size and the perspective, like that. I'm super excited for that part of the adaptation. And so when we start getting set pictures, which we're already getting, those are pretty exciting for me. Okay, so episode 1, do you think they will focus on the two rivers or the White Tower? I think it'll be all two rivers. I don't think we're going to see, I don't know that we're going to see the White Tower in the first season. From a world building standpoint, it makes sense to kind of put that off a little bit. The only way I think we see the White Tower is if they, instead of going to Camelin, go to Tar Valon, but I don't think that's going to happen. So I don't think we're going to see Tar Valon. Where can we see the set pics, Janie? I will be posting them in the video tomorrow. There's a couple different, like Narg on, what's it called? Reddit posted some. I will have all of that in my video that's going to come out tomorrow, right around about 4 o'clock, 4:30 Eastern time. So you'll be able to see all that, and I'll be breaking that down and kind of talking about where I think the places are, things like that. Will they move up the Shan-Chan invasion of Tar Valon? No, I don't think they will. I think that'll be as late as it was because they need to build to that. I want to see a camera shot from Rand's point of view where he's a 2x scale model of Baralon. Well, I think I understand what you're trying to say, Ross, but just because the way they view it being differently, like I'm just excited to see the scale. I don't know what it is for me about that, but it's the scale. Sarah, when I first played WoW, my favorite thing was running around exploring worlds. So I agree. I'm the most excited about seeing the worlds come to life. So Sarah, I play WoW too, and so World of Warcraft is what WoW is, guys. I played Warcraft when I was in high school, and Warcraft 3 was one of my favorite games of all time. And so when they announced World of Warcraft coming out, this is back when I was in college, I thought it won. It was really cool because I played these games growing up, and then built this world that you could essentially run around in and go see the different places. And I just thought, that's so cool that I can go to this place in this video game and hang out. Well, that's what she's describing is kind of where I'm excited about the show and seeing everything. I'm just pumped about that. John, Nae'Blis Alliance or Horde. I've been playing in Classic right now. I re-rolled as Alliance. I've been Horde for the rest of the time. So there you go. Moraine is the main character, but we have no information about her in the first place if she is in a backwoods town. Anthony, she's not going to be the main character. She's the marketing person. They announced her as the main character because she's the big name attached to the show. Moraine is not going to be the main character of the show. I'm fairly certain of that. Nae'Blis, what will the show be rated? So, curious, will there bad words, innuendo, especially for Matt, his potty mouth, and a mind tickling the ladies? So this opens up a can of worms every time we bring this up. What do I think the show will be rated? I think it will be very mature. Here's what I think it will be, and ideally what I think it should be. Let's just put it that way. There is a ton of nudity in the Wheel of Time. Tons of it. Anybody that tries to tell you that's not true did not read the books or selectively ignored them. So there's tons of nudity. So they're left with a choice. There's a ton of violence, a ton of nudity. Both of those things are extremely graphic. There's not a lot of swearing, and the swearing is kind of their own version of swearing. And there's not explicit sex very often. There are times where it is there, but it's not explicit very often. So they're left with this conundrum in terms of a production, because if they just make it a bunch of naked people running around, but yet they never ever swear and there's never any sex, the tone feels a little weird to people, and you gotta take that in mind. So they're left with a choice of either ramping up the language and sex to kind of make it feel like it's normal, or ramping down the nudity. Knowing that it's an Amazon show and it's meant to draw in and be a realistic crowd, they are not going to ramp down the nudity. So what I think is going to happen is they're going to ramp up. There's going to be a few explicit sex scenes. I don't think it's going to be dramatic, but I think it'll be there. And guys, those do exist. Like, Matt is caught like 3 separate times having sex with somebody. Like, he gets walked in on. Rand gets walked in. Like, you get to see Rand actually do that. There are times where Asmodean is having sex with Asandre. Like, those things happen in the books. They're just not, like, Robert Jordan kind of does the fade to black as they happen. And I think in the show, they're just not going to do a fade to black. I do not think we're going to get a PG-13 version of this. And frankly, I don't want to see it. And here's why. If they go the PG-13 route, they still have to ramp down the violence. I don't care about the nudity personally, or the sex. I don't need to see sex in the show. I could care less about that. But I don't want to see them ramp down the violence, because I think the violence is integral into the plot and kind of making different moments have the effect. And if they're trying to make a PG-13 show, they can't do that. Like, they'd have to tone that down, and I don't want that. So to answer your question, all in all, I think that it is going to be, I don't think it's going to be graphic, raunchy sex all the time. I think it will, I hope it fits the story. I want them to keep the nudity, both male and female, and I think that's important to me at least. I don't feel like we just need to objectify the women and, take the rest out. I think they need to keep that fairly equal. But there's a lot of nudity in the shows, and it's used to kind of give in the books at least, the nudity is used to kind of show the fish out of water nature for the Ennis fielders. Like, when they first go to Shinar and they have co-ed baths and they just walk around naked, that freaks them out. Like, that freaks the Emmons fielders out. Okay, when they meet the Aiel, that culture difference, that nudity actually plays. Okay, so in any case, so my long answer to that question is I think it needs to be very mature. I don't want to see graphic, in-your-face sex for no reason unless it plays into the plot. I think they should keep the nudity as it is. And as for the language, my personal thought, they keep all the same swear words, but maybe integrate some modern ones in. I know that bums out a lot of people that are Robert Jordan fans. I'm a Robert Jordan fan. But keep in mind, for somebody just seeing that on screen, that'll come across as kind of cheesy a little bit. So, anyways, that kind of that's my thoughts on that. So I'm sure there's 5 million comments over here that I haven't read. But I'm curious what you all think. Mother's milk in a cup, blood and ashes. Yeah, these are all the different swear words. I just think they're going to have to. I think they keep those, but they need to add a bit more. Javier, hi from Argentina. Love your channel, guys. Thank you, first of all, Javier. I think that's awesome. I'll tell you, one of the most surreal things about having a YouTube channel is that there are people from all over the world that love these books. There are people from all over the world that are following the channel, which I think is crazy and awesome and fun. And it's really cool to connect. I know we've got a couple people in the Discord server. One of my mods is from Finland. I love the community around the books. And so, guys, this is great. So, yeah, Daniel Lobo's from Brazil. So, anyways, it's great. Okay. You hit on some of your comments here. So, yeah, anyways, see, I'd love to see them keep the wheel-time phrases. Language is fluid, and I can see them entering the English lexicon. I agree with you, Sandra. That's why I want them to keep it. I don't want them to exclude the Robert Jordan swear words, but I do want them to integrate maybe some more modern ones as well, just so it doesn't seem as cheesy. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm worried about. So, hey guys, real quick, if you have not gotten your free audiobook from Audible, click the link down below. You get a free audiobook. Even if you don't like them, you can check it out. You don't have to pay for it. Get the free audiobook. It helps the channel out. If you want to be a part of my Discord server, also click that link below. If you're not in there, you should be. Hop in the Discord. It's fun, guys. We get to chat. We get to talk. So I'd love to have you all in there. The other thing, and I said this earlier, if you like what we're doing here, first of all, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed already. If you want to support what we're doing and kind of the community that we're building, check out the Patreon link. I appreciate any of you that are able to help, and we're trying to hire on a staff member to kind of continue and grow this. We want to be the one-stop shop for Wheel of Time. That's kind of the goal. And we want to make content that is entertaining for you all, that's educational, and that also gives perspective and kind of highlights and builds the community around what I think is the best fantasy series ever written. So highly recommend that. I'd love for all of you to be a part of that. We're going to wrap up here in a few minutes, so I'll hit on some more comments, but I wanted to get that out there while you're all still around. But I do appreciate all of you. Yeah, Do Mice Wells cannot be in a PG show, period. Do Mice Wells, if it's done right, can't be in a PG show. I think that will be the moment to me that I could get very disappointed with the show if they tone that down. Do Mice Wells need to be borderline disgusting, like horrible, because that's how it's described. Like, you read the words from that, it's awful. So yeah, I really want that to be real. Like, when we get to that episode, and I'll give you a good example. Again, spoilers for Game of Thrones, but guys, if you haven't watched season 3 of Game of Thrones by now, I don't know what you've been doing. But I knew the Red Wedding was coming, and so I was kind of interested on how they would do it, and would it be graphic. And the way they did it in the show was like, bam, that hit you. Like, that was a game changer for people watching that. And I want Do Mice Wells to have a Red Wedding feel to it. Okay, that's what I want. Okay, so will I ever do an Aja's Explained video? Yes, I will do that. That actually is one of my many on my list of many things we're going to do. Guys, really, there's going to be so many videos that we'll be making, especially as part of plugging them into the website. My goal is to have at least a very basic version of the website out by, I was hoping by Thanksgiving, but I'm not sure we're going to be quite there. We've got about 10 people working on it. By the way, if you want to help work on that, hop in the Discord server, mention it to me, and I'll walk you through whether or not it's something you want to do or not, but would love to help. How do you think they'll do Rand's admin lose their voice and the uncertainty of any of his choices? See, this is the difficult part, Baker. I think they're going to have to visually represent him and make Rand almost come across as schizophrenic. So have Luz there and be there, but not, like, I don't think it'll just be a voiceover. I think we're going to see him. That's what I think. Choose my Aja. I would with 100% be a blue. I'm about the causes, man. So, dude, your channel's going to explode when this show goes live. Hey, that's the hope. And it's not just this channel, but I want to explode the community, and I want to continue to highlight. More than likely here, coming up here to Christmas, we're going to, guys, another thing that's really important to me on the channel, and I think I forgot to take it out. We've got to make a wish link. I very sort of being grateful for the things that we have and things like that. And so coming up for Christmas here, or the holiday season, I should say, we're going to be doing some type of fundraiser. If you have any ideas on a cause that's worth getting behind, let me know. I'd like to utilize the channel as a whole and the community around this. I think it's great for us to be able to do something like that. So if you have some ideas, send me a message or something. But you know, that's that. So I'm kind of looking forward to how they will produce a world based on female privilege. Guys, Yes, yes, yes. I think that is one of the core elements of the show. That if you kind of flip the script, because that's what the Wheel of Time world is it's a world set up with females having been the dominant force for so long because of the Aes Sedai and the fact that the men are gone. Flipping that script and giving some perspective, I think, is one of the things the show will do. To the 13 Days of Forsaken. That's great. Okay, guys, I am going to call it a stream. We're past an hour now. I appreciate all of you for being here. Again, check out the different links below for the Discord, for the live stream, for not the live stream, the Patreon if you want to be a part of that. Thank you all. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. Thank you all for tuning in. I should have a video out tomorrow for all of you. Thank you.